Hi there, I'm Stephanie Kleinberg, women's health coach, and this is Let's Talk Periods, the second of 10 chats devoted exclusively to talking about your menstrual cycle. As embarrassing and uncomfortable it can be to talk about our periods, I really do believe that the more we talk about them, the more we can build respect for the female body. The more intimate we can become with our own bodies and recognize them as a source of power and pleasure. And really for me, because my period really was the source of some powerful changes in my life and my health, I'm here to help you connect the dots between your period and your health and fertility so that you can take a more empowered and proactive stance in those two important areas of your life. So we're here today, and I'm going to talk about cramps, because cramps happen. They happen to most all of us. 80% of women report having menstrual pain, and half of those women have pain every single cycle, every month. Today in my newsletter, this morning in my newsletter, I shared some of my favorite things to have on hand for when, if and when you do experience cramps. And just a hello and thank you to all of the women who are part of my inner circle, receiving and reading those emails and coming here. So thank you for tuning in, for watching, for being a part of that circle. And to anybody who might be interested in joining us there, you can head on over to stephaniekleinberg.com, pop in your name and your email address. I am sharing, apart from these Cycle Chat Facebook Lives, some exclusive content all related to your period there. So please join me if that interests you. What I want to share today are some foods that I recommend emphasizing in your diet if you do suffer from cramps. Because as important as it is to have your kind of cramp products on hand when your cramps do come, I think all of you who have suffered from cramps would agree with me that prevention is really the best medicine, and food can absolutely and should absolutely be a part of that prevention. Now, I will mention that if your cramps are severe, and this is something that I talked about in the last chat when I cover the period index, if you do have severe cramping to the extent that you are doubled over in pain, that you can't get out of your bed, I really urge you to bring that up to your gynecologist. Cramping, severe cramping, can be related to fibroids, endometriosis, infections, nutritional deficiencies, hormonal imbalances. So I really urge you to speak up, and I think that speaking up for our bodies and how we're feeling really is a part of taking care of our bodies. So please do so. What I'm covering today, these food insights really are aimed at primary dysmenorrhea, which is moderate cramping. So this will be helpful for that. So let me dive right in. The first, and it's not even actually a food, is water. Water is something that's critical to preventing cramping, and that really is because of the hormone vasopressin, or antidiuretic hormone. This hormone makes our uterus contract. Okay, and the more our uterus contracts, because the contractions are actually what we experience as cramps, the more cramps we're going to have. And the best way to decrease that hormone is by staying hydrated. It sounds so basic. At the same time, if you really pay attention, you might notice that you aren't drinking enough water. So I recommend 3 to 4 days before your period to really pay special close attention to how much water you're drinking. You want to be getting at least half of your body weight in ounces. So really stay on top of your water intake before your period and see if that makes a difference for your cramps. The second foods that I'll recommend are flaxseed and fish, wild fish, and or flaxseed oil and fish oil, really due to the fact that they are high in omega-3s, anti-inflammatory fats, ALA, EPA, DHA. What these do are block the production of inflammatory prostaglandins, which are created by our uterus uterine lining during our periods and also lead to cramps. So the more we can get these anti-inflammatory fats in our diet, the more we can suppress and block the production of those anti-inflammatory prostaglandins, which are causing the cramping. So a tablespoon of flaxseed a day, 3 servings of wild fish a week, and or if you want, especially if you're not getting that in your diet, and or a teaspoon of fish oil or flaxseed a day are my recommendations there. After that, I'm going to mention leafy green vegetables and in general plant foods, as many plant foods as you can get in your diet. That doesn't mean not eating meat. I certainly consume meat on a daily basis, usually at least 2 times a day. I love meat, but meat is not the focus of my diet. It really is part of my plate, where the rest of my plate is vegetables. So really an emphasis on plant foods in our diet. And women who follow a plant-based diet, right, getting plenty of plants in our diet, plant foods in our diet, are shown to have less cramping. So we really want to emphasize those vegetables, and particularly the leafy green vegetables, because they're high in calcium, magnesium, vitamin B12, vitamin Bs. And so the magnesium, calcium together relaxes muscles. It's going to be helpful for relaxing the uterine muscles when the cramps start. So we want to get those in. And also the vitamin Bs have been shown in studies to really strengthen the effects of fish oil in terms of preventing menstrual cramps or lessening menstrual cramps. So getting that dose of B in is helpful too. Probably my favorite sources, vitamin B12, really are coming from meat. Things like liver, especially. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see that I'm always making liver before my period starts. But those are all going to be helpful, and really aiming to get several servings of those in your diet per day. Lastly, and you probably aren't going to be surprised by this one either if you follow along with me here on social media, is chocolate. So chocolate, and that could be a dark chocolate bar, ideally 85% or higher. And my favorite brand is the Theo bar. Or cacao, straight up cacao, a teaspoon of cacao a day. That is a rich source of magnesium. And again, magnesium is going to help relieve the muscle tension that is causing the cramping. And I will share with you below in the comments my favorite way of getting cacao. That is through my 5-ingredient truffles. I make a big batch of them. I keep them on hand. I usually eat them all throughout my cycle, but if not, if I don't have enough on hand, then definitely the days leading up to my period. And that can be really helpful, getting that extra dose of magnesium in to keep me comfortable during my period. So thank you for tuning in and listening. As a special thanks for listening, I want to mention here something that I have not shared anywhere else yet, but in the new year I am going to be launching the Know Your Cycle Challenge, a challenge that is all aimed at taking your period knowledge to the next level and really empowering you to be proactive, using your period as a tool in your health and fertility. So I would love to have you join me and learn everything about your cycle that you've always wanted to know, and I will share that link below as well. Thank you so much for tuning in.